Hey, this is Kurt Hale. I'm the family pastor at the church on Rush Creek in Arlington, Texas, and I got a question for you. Are your kids in your splash zone? That's what we're talking about on this episode of the Family Blast. Now, what do I mean when I ask you, are your kids in your splash zone? Well, I'm talking about an illustration I do sometimes using a jar of water. So imagine with me that you are this jar, and the water inside the jar is everything you want to pour out on your children. You want to pour out love and affection and encouragement. You want to give them your faith and your beliefs and your values. You want to give them all of that. And so I'm going to open up and pour out my entire life on my children and give them everything possible. It's a good idea. In fact, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. But there are two problems with this picture. First of all, notice the jar. It's empty. You've poured out everything you have for your kids, and now you've got nothing left. It leads to exhaustion, burnout, and I promise you, I felt that way before. I've sat down in my chair at the end of the night and thought, I've got nothing left to give. I don't even care that my daughter's in bed in a bathing suit because there's no clean clothes in the house. I just got her down and I can finally rest. But there's another problem. Check this out. Notice that all that you had inside of you is not enough for your kids. You've given them everything you have. You are completely depleted and they still need more. In fact, when we give our kids value lessons and character lessons and faith lessons, we have to keep giving it over and over and over again because it leaks. Thank God there's a better way. This is Deuteronomy 6, starting in verse 4. Listen, Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. These words I'm giving you today are to be in your heart. Repeat them to your children. Talk about them when you sit in your house and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them be a symbol on your forehead. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. God says in His Word, hey, I don't want you to give your children all that you have. I want you to give them all that I have. So the first thing we have to do is we have to fall in love with God and His commands and drink those in daily and let His love fill us up constantly so we have something to give. The picture looks more like this according to the Bible. Instead of pouring out all that we have on our children, God says, hey, look, just sit with me daily and love my commands and let me fill you up. So that as I fill you up with my word and my truth and my love, it's going to constantly fill you until you're spilling to overflowing. And your kids are in the splash zone. They get to experience all of that truth and all of that love, and they see it coming out in you, and it changes them because it's changing you. Look and see what a better picture that is. First of all, if you constantly are falling in love with God and drinking in His Word, then you're not depleted. In fact, you are full to overflowing. And you know what? It continues to fill, and it fills up our children. God's truth and God's love fills up our children until even this dish would overflow. Look, you're going to be depleted sometimes, and you're going to be tired. That's just life. But God is more than enough to refresh you and to fill your tanks back up. And so I got to ask again, are your kids in your splash zone? Are you loving God and His commands so much that it's overflowing in your life and changing them? That's how you spiritually disciple your children according to the Word. And that's how you see change happen. See you next time on the Family Blast. Really?